The part of class today that really stood out to me was when we were going over the pond example, and then we kind of had like the counter example where it would be if it was everything went the same except for the fact that the groom didn't save the kid. Like they did the news story and they were interviewing him afterwards, and he was just like, "Yeah, I didn't save him," and that really stood out to me because compared to like every other class that's had this example before, our class didn't really have a visceral reaction when it came to it. And I don't really think that that's because we're like less moral or less ethical. At least for me, when I was thinking about that, when I first heard it, I also had like the visceral reaction was like, why didn't the guy save him? He's able-bodied. The pond probably wasn't that deep, so he probably could have easily saved him. And then, I mean, and I took the stance of like, oh, it wasn't fully his responsibility, even though I did have like that visceral reaction because I kind of thought about it for a second, and I was just like, there's a lot of other like bystanders who could have saved him. I know it was mentioned that like, oh, the photographer, the wife could have saved him. The kids who pushed the other kid in could have called for help. And so I kind of feel like it was like unfair to really put the blame just on the man. Like, and I think the reason why everyone had such a visceral reaction to like the fact that he didn't save anyone is because in like real life he did save the person, so everyone was expecting him to. And then they interviewed him afterwards, and he was like, "Yeah, I saved him." But in like the fake scenario that we had, when they still interviewed him afterwards, he was just like, "Yeah, I didn't save him." So it kind of really made everyone think that, oh, he was the only person that could save him. But like there was a lot of other people who could have saved him, and I don't think it's really fair that like everyone else like who was involved in that wasn't really like subject to like the criticism that he was, even though they also were in the area and they also could have saved the kid. And kind of like, I don't think this is just like us being contrarian. Like I know like you brought up the fact that maybe you guys just feel like you need to like give a counterpoint or something else because you're in class, and like I don't think that's necessarily true. Like I didn't really feel that way. I felt like, yeah, the guy, like if the kids like fell in, he didn't save him, he still would have been like partially responsible because he could have. Like we know he was able to like in real life, so like I think that kind of sways everyone, being like, oh, we understand that he was able to in real life, so he should have in any like situation. But like, given the fact that in this situation we never would have known that he was able to save him, I kind of feel like it's unfair that everyone just had like this gut visceral reaction to be like, it's his fault, only his fault, he's horrible. And especially when like there were so many other like factors that could have played into it. And the reason why this was so like impactful or like able to reflect on me is because it's kind of like you have to really think and like take a step back like objectively, because the reason why I think everyone, like as I said, had like these reactions because we know that in real life he was able to save him, so he should have been able to save him every time. And a lot of the times when we're like, I really learned that like when we're observing or talking about something, we have to learn to really take a lot of our like biases out, or like really look at it like as like a third party, because our preconceived notions are really going to impact how we view things, especially with ethics, because everyone has their own like foundations of ethics. They have their own personal beliefs, and that's really going to sway it. And so kind of using this as like an example, it's really easy to see just how like your own personal beliefs or biases or like any like preconceived notions you have can easily influence and sway how you think about a situation, when like if you take an objective step back and you look at it, you're just like, you'll come up with a completely different like response sometimes. And I think that's what really like stood out to me today.